On a quaint country road in Weimar, the heartland of Germany, a lone United States Army jeep rumbled steadily along, heedless of any danger in these waning days of war. One of the jeep's occupants, Corporal Charles Wilson, was lost in thought, studying the beautiful countryside. All around him were rolling, bouncy hills, green slopes, plateaus, sheep grazing in pastures, venerable stone bridges dating back to Roman times, charming little farmhouses standing like lone sentinels astride undulating plains that seemingly stretched to the horizon and beyond. Wilson, a pensive and deeply religious chaplain's assistant in the 46th Armored Medical Battalion, 4th Armored Division, was impressed with the scenic majesty of the German landscape. In his mind, he could hear the music of great German composers, Beethoven's Pastoral Symphony, the lilting melodies and hymns of Haydn and Mozart. As he imagined the music, he felt a kinship with nature, and he contemplated the richness of German culture. He thought of peaceful Bible passages. He watched as birds soared among the trees. After many months of war, Corporal Wilson felt a distinct sense of renewal. He was infused with hope for the future, one he imagined would be filled with Christian fellowship and brotherhood. Then all at once, the jeep arrived at its destination, Ohrdruf, a small concentration camp designed to house and exploit slave labor for the German war effort. Until this moment, Wilson had literally no concept, no understanding, even in his wildest nightmares, of what the term concentration camp really meant. His ignorance was near total. Now, as he walked around and took in the terrible realities of Ohrdruf, engulfed in its powerful stench, his upbeat mood of hope and fellowship evaporated. We see evidences of inconceivable human brutality, clumps of human debris piled high and spread out in grotesque array, he wrote in his diary. Men and women, revealing evidences of long-lasting starvation in their emaciated bodies, systematically shot through the head. In a long ditch were hundreds, possibly even thousands, of skeletal bodies, arms and legs poking out, heads too large for their skinny torsos, sightless eyes staring dully upward in supplication. Some of the bodies were partially burned, others had been shot or clubbed. Some must have starved or died of disease. Standing next to Wilson, another soldier, a tank crewman, according to his uniform, stared silently at the bodies. The tanker was so enraged at the incomprehensible sight of the corpses that he involuntarily dug his nails into his own palms, drawing blood. Wilson thought of this as a stigmata in which bleeding anger fights with the knowledge of the awesome, unjust suffering of others. The foul odor of the place was overwhelming, so much so that Wilson felt dizzy and unbalanced, as if he would get sick. Only with a great effort could he fight off waves of nausea. Hours earlier, his eyes had taken in the beautiful splendor of nature. Now he had trouble focusing them well enough to see anything with clarity. Time lost its meaning. Minutes turned into hours. Finally, he staggered away from Ohrdruf, back to the jeep with his comrades, to leave the place forever, physically, but never truly mentally. In the space of those few hours, he and the others had seen the unbearable evidence of human cruelty that would remain in our memories as long as we live. Wilson knew that the experience had changed him forever, leaving him with provocative thoughts, and the effects of those thoughts demand a moral response from me at every moment of my life. And thus, for Wilson and so many thousands of other American soldiers in the spring of 1945, that same struggle to discover, to bear witness, to strive for justice and meaning began. The setting. When American soldiers overran Germany in the spring of 1945, most had no idea what they were about to see. The average soldier disliked the Nazi regime and, in theory, understood the tyranny Hitler and his followers had imposed upon Europe. Very few, though, had any real notion of what that tyranny truly entailed. The Nazi regime built and supervised thousands of concentration camps, all of which had distinct purposes. Some camps were for slave labor, others were incarceration centers for the regime's